Direct from Foxborough, Massachusetts, the gem of Norfolk County, and taped at the studios of Foxborough Cable Access. It's Foxborough Central. And here's your host, Bob Hickey.
And welcome to another episode of Foxborough Central. I am your host, Bob Hickey, and I want to thank you for taking the time to join with me and my guests, plural, as we talk about the people, events, and organizations that make Foxborough truly the gem of Norfolk County. One of the great things about living in Foxborough is there is always something to do, whether it's along Route 1 with the wonderful Patriot Place offerings, the New England Patriots and Revolution, or bringing it back to town with the civic organizations, our state forest, but something that I think we all sort of take for granted but really shouldn't would be our recreation department. Of course, they've been on the program before in a variety of events and things going on, but I think today what I'd like to do, if it's all right with you, is do an overview of our recreation department and, more importantly, the newly created Friends of Foxborough Recreation. So I guess we start off, as we always do, and as we should, with Deb Giardino, our recreation director. Hello, Deb. Welcome back to the program.
Bob. Thanks for having us.
Foxborough Recreation, still in business?
Foxborough Recreation is blossoming. Not only is it still in business, growing and growing and enjoying every minute of it. Today's topic, as you mentioned, Friends of Foxborough Recreation, was something that has been on the drawing board for a couple of years, but it needed to come to fruition because of ethics laws and the need to be compliant with the rest of the state.
Now, the important thing I think people in Foxborough need to understand is that our recreation department is one of those few entities that is self-funding. You create your own revenue stream through your programming, correct?
Correct.
So can't we just do your programming with everything that we're doing?
We can't, because we're charged with so many other duties. We take care of every playground in town, aside from the maintenance work that the great DPW does.
But you coordinate it also. It's not even a matter of just doing it, but
Right.
it's you have your finger
In a lot of
baseball fields, soccer
pies.
fields, everything that's going on with the Cohasset River Park area. All these different things all fall under your jurisdiction.
And a lot of expenses. We like to say we do a lot with a little. The only money that we get from the town is my salary, for which I'm grateful. But every other dime is spent on, we raise
Well, it's
every other
generated
dime,
through your programming.
generated through our programs, and it's spent right back out the door. When you think of, we take care of the South Street office, Payson Road, Mill Street, 2 buildings on Mill Street, the field there. We have a log cabin there that we need to maintain and have revenue spent on that as well. So it is a lot with a little.
So I'll give you this, and perhaps this will segue us right into the reason why we have Friends of Foxborough Recreation. One of your programs is your theater program, and coming up, we'll soon be having a program at the Marilyn Rodman Performing Arts Center. We just pay for that, right? It just happens.
You just pay for it.
Yeah,
but,
you just make it happen,
you just
sure.
pay for it. But there's so many other costs, ancillary costs associated with it. And I'm not going to get into the cost of what it costs to run a program, the program that we have to have, or the office staff, or the ancillary costs that go with any program whatsoever. The program at the Orpheum is a wonderful, wonderful program, but like them all, they have other costs. And we can't always cover those costs.
So maybe that's why we're here today.
Exactly.
How about that for a build-up?
I think that's a great build-up.
You and I have done our part.
We have.
Now we can turn the program over.
Absolutely. Please do.
We're joined, of course, by the leadership of the Friends of Foxborough Recreation. On my right, your left, Stephanie Tuig. Stephanie, nice to meet you, and welcome to the program.
Bob. Thank you for having me.
So why are we here?
We are here to spread the word about what we do in the community and to just tell people that we're here, and if people want to help fundraise for programs offered by the Park and Rec, there's an opportunity to do that. We meet once a month, and we also have a book club that we run, and we do various fundraisers throughout the year, and the fundraisers that we do raise money to go back to the programs offered by the Friends of the Park and Rec. So it's a blossoming organization and a blossoming board, like Debbie said, but we're here basically for a cause, and it's to make the town a better place for the community.
And how long have the Friends been in existence?
I've been on the board for, I think this is my 2nd year, but Stephanie would probably be able to answer that better because I believe she's one of the founding leaders of the board, but it's I believe newer organization, so
Well, we will go from the Vice President, Stephanie, to the Treasurer, Stephanie. Stephanie McGowan, how are you doing?
Nice to see you,
Welcome
Bob.
back to the show. How's everything going?
Everything is going great.
So you're you're a founding member of the
Yeah.
Friends of Foxborough Recreation.
Yeah, Deb and I had a conversation probably about 4 years ago where all the Friends of groups were starting to come up, Friends of the Flagpole, Friends of this, Friends of that, and we were just talking about some of the ways that she said, to enhance the programming. Of course, recreation does wonderful. Their programs, sustain the recreation department, but sometimes there were just some things that Deb wanted to get done and that we just need that little extra. So we brainstormed a little bit, and between the two of us said, well, why don't we get a Friends of group going? Sure. And it was a slow start. We, I started as the chair, and we were meeting, getting some parents together, and every month we'd have a couple of different people, and it fizzled just a little tiny bit, and then we decided we were gonna just get this thing going, and we filed for a 501c, got legal, and then probably a year and a half ago or so, Steph came in, Shannon came in, we have a couple other members now we have a rock solid group. And since that group got together, the fundraising has just for us gone through the roof. We now in our account we have a little over $11,500.
Okay.
That money has come from as much as $25 from book club to thousands of dollars from different fundraisers we've ran. I do have to mention that a very big chunk of donations came in from the Slattery family. They were, goodness of their heart, when Mr. Slattery passed, they had asked that in lieu of flowers that people would make donations to the Friends of Foxborough Rec. And I'm going to, don't quote me exactly, but I'm going to say that probably was somewhere between $3,000 and $3,500 alone, and the checks are still coming in.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, he and Martha, of course, longtime leaders and givers, and Jim is on our board of directors at the theater. So, and all different, Foxborough is one of those communities, as I'm sure all small communities are, where you have so many people who do so much, and you don't even think about all the different ways they're involved. And so the Slatters are a big piece of what Foxborough is.
Absolutely, and for us that was huge. But with that being said, every dollar, every penny that comes in, it's it just adds up. And I will tell you, like I said, we've had some fundraisers that we've done that have brought in big hunks of money. Some not quite as much, but every dollar counts, and it's grown very quickly. I mean, we set a goal this time last year to have $10,000, and so we've surpassed the goal.
That's great.
And
congratulations.
Yeah, and I'd like to maybe pass off to Shannon to maybe even tell you some of the. We've done everything from book club to restaurant fundraisers, and everybody has a little part. And Shannon has been a powerhouse in some of our fundraising, as well as Stephanie. But as the treasurer, who I get to take checks that come in and cash, it's been wonderful. But it's been a lot of hard work, but gratifying.
Speaking with Stephanie McGowan, who is the treasurer of the Friends of Foxborough Recreation. Friends of Foxborough Recreation are a support to the recreation department. And I think when many of us think of the Friends, I think the one that's the oldest that we think of the most would be, say, the Friends of the Boyden Library with their book sales, where you pay 25 cents, 50 cents for a book. But it does really add up. You mentioned a couple times how it adds up. And every donation means something, because it means support. It means that we as a community support the Friends, who in turn support the recreation department and sports booster clubs. Every sports team has a booster club. Remember when hockey wasn't even a sport, and the parents are coming around to the civic organizations getting their 250, 500 donations. So these are all things that go towards making for a successful organization. And in government, and I'm sure you know this, in government, you just can't give money to the government and say, hey, I want it to go to recreation, right? Which is why we have a Friends of Foxborough Recreation Group. Isn't that right, Shannon Seuss?
Yes, sir, it is.
And it's nice to have you on the program.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us. So how did you get involved?
Well, I have been an employee for recreation as a camp counselor in the summer for the past 7 years. And there was an announcement on Facebook around this time last year that there was going to be an open meeting for the Friends of Foxborough Rec for anybody that was interested. So I thought I'd show up, see what happened. I was the only outsider that showed up. And right from that meeting, I was elected as a member at large, like right off the bat. So my role as a member at large is basically kind of just to take the ideas everybody has and kind of just support them and roll with them. So one of my personal goals this year was to do a dining for a cause every month at a different place around town. And I've done it every single month except for September, I want to say. Got busy with the start of school. But lots of local places have supported us, like the Foxborough House of Pizza, Jake and Joe's, even like the Chateau in Norton.
Really?
Yeah, where people just go and they bring a little flyer, and a certain percentage of their meal will go right back to our program. So.
And we're doing this every month.
Yes, yes.
So if people want to find out information, we should be your friends on Facebook?
Yes, you can.
We should follow you?
Like our Facebook page.
And your
Yes.
Facebook page is at Friends Foxborough Rec, right?
Yes.
And you can also log on to your website at www.friendsfoxboroughRec.com.
Yes, sir.
I
Yes,
got
sir.
that out.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes.
And of course, if you miss any of this stuff, you can always call the Recreation Department. Now, the Recreation Department is not part of, per se, the Friends of Foxborough Recreation, but they can get messages passed over because it is, as we all know, a partnership. And it's a partnership between community and government. It's a partnership between raising the money and then being able to use that money to create great programming. So you can call the Recreation Department at 508-543-7255 to get put in contact with one of these great volunteers. And you're all volunteers, right?
Yes.
You're not paid $10,000 to execute the role of Friends of Foxborough Recreation.
Nope. So all the, the different meetings, that we go to, or the different fundraisers and things that you promote, it's out of the goodness of your heart. You know what I mean?
Is
And
it fun?
wanting- Oh, it's so much fun.
Why is it fun?
Well, for me, from growing up here and being a part of a lot of these programs.
See, hang on a second. See, she says she's an outsider. That's the silliest thing. Come on. I mean, between you and me, isn't that the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard? I mean, come
She's
on.
definitely an
Can we
insider.
talk real here?
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
So,
she knows a lot of people.
well, like I
Believe me,
said,
she's not an outsider.
both my parents, grew up here and
Very involved with the
Very
recreation.
involved,
Very involved. Is your dad still on the board?
My dad is still on the board
Yes,
of
he is.
recreation. Yep.
Insider, come on.
Right. And I think I just saw how much him and my mom were involved growing up, so I kind of felt like it was my turn to just kind of pick up where they left off and just see what I can contribute. And I think too, sometimes it's nice to have somebody who went through the program. Debbie went to the summer camp and stuff. It's nice to have people who can come from firsthand experience and be able to tell you how great these programs are and the things that we can provide for the community.
Well, I think the interesting thing also when you mention this is, and I'm poking fun, but I think it's actually I'm being serious because there are names that you associate with Foxborough. And clearly McGowan and Seuss and Tuig are those names that we know are part of our community. So Stephanie, how did you get involved? What got you motivated to do this?
My gosh, I'm trying to remember. Actually, my friend Melissa.
Or did you just make eye contact with Deb?
No.
Because I'll be honest, that's the way I get into a lot of things. I see her and she,
Yeah.
across the common somehow happens.
Evil eyes.
Deb is very persuasive.
Deb is
She
good
is.
at that.
She
Yeah.
is.
No, actually, one of my friends, Melissa, she's no longer a member. She had put a post, I think, in the Foxborough Moms Club. So I've been in Foxborough only 2.5 years. So when I moved here, I joined the Moms Club, and I think she put a post on our Facebook page that the Friends of Foxborough Rec was looking for volunteers, and she was part of it, and she was reaching out to people to see if anybody would like to volunteer. And I was new to the community, and I wanted to meet people, and I enjoy volunteering anyway. So I decided to volunteer. So I went to a first meeting kind of just to check it out, and it was in Debbie's office. I think it was around this time, probably 2 years ago now, because I'm entering my second year. So, and then I just stuck with it because I loved the mission. I loved what they were doing. I have 3 young kids in town. I want to make it a great place for them to live, and I want them to have great playgrounds and safe areas for them to go to. And I really just supported the mission and what Deb and her colleagues are doing.
Good.
So,
Well, good for you for being involved, and that's great to hear because it shows that there's opportunities for new folks to town to get
absolutely,
involved as
we
well.
welcome volunteers and new members all the time to
Do
come
we?
check us out.
Do we want new volunteers?
Oh,
We
absolutely.
do, yes.
Bob, if I can say, it's a,
This is called a softball. I threw it out there. She's going to hit a home run with it. So let's see where we go.
Exactly. Well, so here's the thing. You have Steph with young kids just going through this programming. You have little older Steph here whose children have already gone through and have circled around and are working at summer boot camp.
And then we have the next generation.
Yeah, and then you have Shannon who doesn't have kids yet. She's still a kid herself. She's still a youngin'. And so between all of us, we're all looking at the Foxborough recreation as in a different way, but yet in the same way. And so we all bring something different. And I will tell you, the meetings are fun. We would love anybody who would like to hop on board and help. You know, we've done things where we've gotten pizza and just to sit around and kind of have something to eat, have a cold beverage, non-alcoholic cold beverage. And I thought I might have been putting my foot in my mouth there. And so, we would love anybody who would like to hop on board to come check us out. And we're a great group of girls. Right now we have all moms. Be nice to get a dad to come.
Time to get some of the other side
come
involved.
and help us out.
So do you meet on a regular basis, a regular time?
We try to do once a month.
Okay.
The summertime, with a lot of conflicting schedules, we might have to
Summers get
push,
busy.
Yeah, we may have to push up a week.
But it doesn't sound like it's a weekly commitment, something that people have to get
It's
overly
usually
involved with.
we try to do like the last Monday of every month, and in a few weeks we're going to be doing a membership drive where
Really?
we want people to, kind of like almost like an open house type of deal, where they can come to like an open meeting, see what we're about, because we do have our yearly elections coming up. So, if people are interested in being a member at large and voted into this, if they're interested in that, I would say keep up with our Facebook page because that's where a lot of our announcements will be. Because like Stephanie said, we want to get as many people from the community as possible. So I think letting people kind of dip their toe in a little bit, see what it's about, and then they can choose whether they want to fully commit or not.
And I'm glad you brought that up because this is not a time-sensitive program. This is a program about the Friends of Foxborough Recreation. So as they come up upon their annual elections and their monthly meetings and their various fundraisers, such as the monthly restaurant, what do we call it? Restaurant dine-in drive or
Dining for a cause, I guess.
Dining
I kind
for
of
a
stole
cause.
that from the 99. That's
I
what
like
they call
that.
it. But
So we'll give props to the 99 here in Foxborough, Dining for a Cause. You should be their friend. You should follow them on Facebook at Friends Foxborough Rec. Friends Foxborough, spelled the company way, rec. Or you can go to www.friendsfoxboroughRec.com. Follow them, become part of their information cycle. And also, do you, Deb Giordino, as we come back, and we're so running out of time, and I'll give everybody a last word, but I just wanted to talk to you about what the Friends have meant to your department in the last couple of years.
They have meant so much. We now have an ability to have a pool of money that was raised legally and within the bounds of ethics, and ask them, gee, I'd like
You make applications.
$500
Sure.
for a magician for the summer program. We actually started with the foundation of building a new playground. Booth Playground is in desperate need of a makeover, but they have expanded it so it's the playground and more, more programming, more help in that area. And the money that has been raised for the playground portion, so to speak, will be placed together in another pot of money to build a new playground.
Okay.
That's our goal as a recreation department, with the Friends supporting us in that.
there are many goals and many important projects to be run. So we'll go around the horn and say goodbye to everybody. Stephanie, first of all, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate you sharing our story with the community, and I hope more people will join us in our efforts to raise money.
Well, clearly, as somebody who's newly moved to Foxborough and a member of the Moms Club and a member of this, you're clearly our new generation of involved parents. So welcome and congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm not going to talk about me because you talked about the generations and left Deb and me out in the wind. So she I know. I did notice that. Didn't you notice that?
Yeah, I did.
All right, Ms. McGowan.
You guys are what started it all for us, Bob and Deb.
Shannon did mention that I went there, so
Yeah.
that was
there
enough.
You go. There you go. That's nice.
The only thing I would add is just that we live in a tremendous community, and everybody comes together when there's something to do. And who doesn't love the recreation department? Deb's programs go from preschool to adults, and even stem into the senior center. So recreation affects everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So come on, like Shannon said, come check us out. We are meeting next Monday, the 29th. And then shortly after is the
membership drive.
Drive. But anybody can show up at any meeting, anytime. Come on in. We would welcome you with open arms and get involved. And for us, I think we feel the sky's the limit. We can anything to enhance the programs at the rec.
Excellent. And of course, just a reminder that whatever 29th is that she mentioned is long gone. So the 29th you're going to be looking for is probably going to be the last Monday of the month. And be their friend on Facebook, Friends Foxborough Rec. It'll be the way to get notified. I know Facebook has this funky algorithm, but if you like them and you like some of the programs to do, they'll be bumped up to the top of your page and you'll get all their information. Shannon, I'll give you the last word because you're the one who seems to be our future. You're our tomorrow. So
I guess,
talk to us.
I guess you'd say that. Thank you again for the opportunity. I think it's great, like Stephanie said, both Stephanies, to be able to spread the word here. I definitely challenge my younger generation here to, get more involved in your community, especially, if you want your kids and things like that to, be prosperous and things, it starts at a young age to get involved. And the rec does a lot for us here in town, so I think that it's a great thing to get involved in.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Debbie Giordino, Shannon Soos, Stephanie McGowan, Stephanie Tuig, thank you so much for all of you being here on the program.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
For having
And we
us.
hope that you will remember that the Friends of Foxborough Recreation are a 501c3 organization. They exist solely to support the programs of Foxborough Recreation. If you support Foxborough Recreation, I know you'll be their friend and you'll support the Friends of Foxborough Recreation. On behalf of all of the volunteers, myself included here at Foxborough Cable Access, we are out of time. But if you missed any portion of this program and you'd like to look at it again and you can't find it on the cable channel, you can check us out at www.fcatv.org, or you can follow us on our YouTube channel and see all this and all the other great episodes of Foxborough Central. Until next time, Foxborough, I'm Bob Hickey. Have a great day. Take care.